Hello, welcome. We're back online and we are currently working on our drop-down menu system, and we will continue to refine it and to make it work is a better word to say it, because currently we still have some issues with it, and I can immediately show what the issues are, or maybe not right away because I'm still having something wrongly here activated. Yeah, so let's activate the actual not working code, which I call the legacy hover method here. And I can show you what is wrong here. And what I don't like about it. So what you can see here is that we have this rectangle rendered as a drop-down menu, but there is a certain problems with it. First of all, it has a fixed width and a fixed height, which is obviously not correct, and we will then have different numbers of menu items, also with different widths, and probably even sub-menu items, and so this would just not do it, right? And second problem is also if I move down into this area, you see I lose the focus, and it is no longer rendered at all. So the drop down box is just completely bound currently to the hovering over the actual respective top menu item, and this is just not correct, of course. So this is why I was thinking a bit how to mitigate this, and so what I came up with is I still keep the old code here, which is always practical to do, and I was kind of like hiding it and isolating it under a define clause, and if I undefine this legacy hover method symbol, then you can see that all this code that is responsible for rendering the dropdowns in the way they are currently rendered, then this is essentially no longer part of the compilation unit. Yeah. So that's also quite efficient. So there is absolutely no runtime cost. There is not even a need for something. So I like to do it that way. So I say, well, only if this is active here in terms of a compilation symbol, that will even be part of the runtime code. Otherwise, it's completely not part of it. So what I'm now doing is I want to completely streamline this, and it should also be much shorter. And what we basically want to achieve here is that I want to go away from binding myself for the drop downs to the menu items too much, or to put it in a better way, to completely get rid of this relation here. I just want to have an explicit list of what I call active dropdowns, because there can be more than one theoretically in the future. Yeah, you might have more than one dropdown open and in different places of the editor. So I want to just iterate this list, and while I'm doing that, I am pulling out what I call this render bounding box. This just gives some information about where in the screen space this dropdown should be rendered. And then essentially I'm using this information to build up my scale and world matrix, and I will then render the bounding box in the correct place. I think this puts us in a much better position to also then later be able to have dynamically sized dropdowns, and we want and we need dynamically sized dropdowns because we have obviously very likely a different number of menu items for each dropdown, and they also can have different lengths. So I think this puts us in a better position here, and I'm currently on my way to to try this out for the first time. And so let's do that together. So let's see. Okay, so currently it's not working at all, which is of course okay. It's not drawing anything, which totally makes sense because the active dropdowns is currently not set. It's not, there's nothing added. So what I will do now first, as a very first initial step, I will just enter some dummy test data in there right at the end of the init function here. Testing or test-wise adding some drop-down items into the active list. So we have this active list here. It's called active dropdowns, and we will push back. Let's call it dropdown 1, and we will create this here, dropdown item dd1, and that now we can probably initialize it as well, and we will do dd1, the render bounding box, left equals yeah, let's put something in it. Let's just see if the rendering itself works, and let's just say right equals 350, and let's say dd1 render bounding box top is at 32, and the dd1 render bounding box bottom is at 132. So it's 100 pixels high. And let's just see if this changes anything, and if we see some pseudo drop down rectangle somewhere on the screen, that would already be good. Yeah, we do. Okay, so, and the render bounding box left 200 also makes sense because I happen to know that the width of this panel here is 200. So this works fine. So what we now need to do is we have to again somehow bind it to the currently active menu item, right? So what we'll do is, as soon as we hover the game object, we will then create hopefully the correct bounding box for this drop-down item. So I correct myself, we will create technically a drop-down item struct, and we will give it the correct render bounding box. Okay, let's try that. Well, we'll just grab that code and we will move it to some other place where it says check menu inputs. Yeah, okay, so this is the place where we have discovered that we are actually hovering over a specific menu item. And so we now need to somehow get the information out of the actual menu item, where on the screen space we actually have to put this drop-down box. And I'm just thinking if we easily have this information now here in this place. So now it's a kind of a little bit of a challenge that I see now. One of the typical challenges in software development. So you are in a specific location in your program and you would like to have a specific piece of information, but you don't easily have it right now. You would have the information at another place. In my case, it would be the rendering of the top menu item, because there I have exact information. But maybe I don't have it here. So there are similar cases already where I have solved this, and I did this by using this render bounding box also for the actual menu item. And yeah, this just came to my mind, and actually I see I'm anyway already using it here. And maybe we just need to spice it up a little bit and maybe have a second render bounding box that just gives us the information about the drop down location in a better way. Because I think, I mean, for now, let's just try to use the renderer bounding box. And see how far we come. But I guess that there might be some issues with the offset, because I think I remember that the renderer bounding box here, when I filled it in, I have already in my mind that I will use it for the mouse scanning test. So this is actually something that doesn't really make sense. Or, I mean, it makes sense, but it is not correct for this use case here now. So, but anyway, let's still use it. Let's say we just use the raw values here, and we just say yeah, let's just try it out. Menu item. What I will do, the top, I will add 32 pixels to that, because I know that this would not be correct, because I for sure want to have it below the actual menu item. So here I can already kind of take this preemptive decision here. And then we will also do the bottom, but we will add a specific height, and we will just add 100 pixels here. So what we will also do is we will clear all active dropdowns before each scan action, so that we're always sure we will have the correct number of items in there. That means we take the additive state, active dropdowns, and we clear them. So that makes sure that there is no active dropdown if we don't find a current hover item, and in case we do, we have one. So we check this out, and yeah, I mean, it's already basically there, right? So now we are already slightly better than where we have been yesterday. So we now have already kind of an dynamic notion of the width, and it's just now that the offset on the left is just not correct. So I mean, that's fine. I think I can eyeball. This is just the 4 pixels, and I think I can even show you and show myself that where this comes from, because I think where I'm filling it out, I'm giving this 4 pixel additional margin, so to say, to make the hitting with the mouse a little bit easier. So, and this is where it comes from, right? You see, it's a -4. And I'm thinking where we should best put this variable to replace this this kind of cryptic magic number. Because if we just would only use it here in one place, it would kind of be arguably okay to have this number here. But now we need to use, and we need to know this number in another place. So now is the time to introduce this as a first level concept, so to say, and as a first level citizen, right? Okay, and to quickly just look something up. start it once more. And we will, yeah, so that's fine. I think we will probably just put it somewhere in the editor. In the editor state. And we will edit as a, let's probably edit at the end. And we can say that we have, this will be a float. Yeah, let's make it a float. That makes it easier to cast later on. So we have the how do we call it? Menu hover margin. And this is 4.0 pixels. Now we can go here and we can change that and we can say editor state menu hover margin. Now next we can go to check menu items, and now we can also do the same here. We can say editor state menu hover margin, and I think we should now have solved our first small issue. That's what I hope. And here we go. I mean, it's a little bit too wide, but I don't care for that now because we need to make this dynamic anyway very soon. So this is not a big problem. But we are flush on the left side, and that's already good. So we're still having the problem. If I move down here, I lose everything, and so I lose the focus. And I think I will tackle that next because I have an idea for that, but it might be a little bit tricky anyway. So let's think it through, loud and spelled out. I think what we want to do is, if we do something like that, okay, that's interesting, something like that. So I'm not hovering over any of the menu items, and I definitely left the focus of the former menu item. Then I think it's totally fine to have this kind of behavior here, right? I think that's fine. No menu item is active, so we can just get rid of the hovering of the menu items, and we also get rid of any drop down drawn. That's correct. I think we already have that check. But what we want to have is the situation where we leave the menu item with our mouse, but actually we're still hitting a drop down, like so. Yeah, so currently it doesn't work, but the expectation would be if I go just down with the mouse here, of course I'm still in a drop down. And what I would like now to have is two things. First, still render the drop down and keep it active. That's the first thing. Keep the drop down active. And the second thing I want to have is also keep the, let's call it, related menu item active and keep it hovered, because that would also be confusing for the user if we still have the drop down and hopefully in the right place, but still we kind of lose the marking of the menu item. I think that would not be, that would also not feel correct, of course. Okay. So keep menu item active as well. Okay. So my intuition tells me that we should probably create a separate function here, which we will call check dropdowns. Check dropdown inputs. We will pass it an editor state. Editor state, and we will just do that here. No, must be curly brace. Okay. And let's probably write a few comments here. Yeah, I don't need that. No, I don't want to. Can I turn this crap off? Can I turn this off? Configure. Hide all code vision. Oh, I really don't like this. Code vision. I don't even know what that is. Yeah. Let's just turn that out. Oh. Inlay hints. I mean, some of the normal, like, what is this? Let's just try it out. Let's just turn it off completely for now. Let's see if this crap then goes away. Because I still want to have this kind of like normal IntelliSense like functions like the last 20 years, but yeah, I don't want the AI crap. Okay. This function checks if the mouse is over any dropdown rect. If it is, two things should happen. First, keep rendering the dropdown item, the rect, and keep the related menu item as active and hovered. So the user gets a consistent display of the drop-down menu. So the first part kind of is easy. For auto, let's call it our drop-down item. In editor state, active drop-downs. Yeah, I'm just pausing because I'm kind of seeing a potential issue already now, because if I am iterating over the active drop-downs, but I clear them here, this is probably not a good idea. So I think right away I will do the clearing after the actual related function here, because otherwise I'm now really having kind of a sequential dependency in when I call which check function, which might not be avoidable anyway, but still I don't want to introduce it right away if I can avoid it. So let's see. Yeah, we just essentially do something like this. First you grab the mouse, just do this. And I think we don't really need an offset. No, because we are in screen space anyway. And I think we can really totally reuse this code. So we do not use any offset here, at least not now. Maybe at some point later. And menu items are actually drop-down items. So these are now drop-down items, and probably we will also make this a reference to avoid any copying and any unwanted side effects that come with that. Okay, that should actually can we clear them here? Should we clear them? I think what we probably yeah, I mean, now I have an idea. We could say we only clear if we did not have a hovering event over one of the dropdowns, right? If hovered dropdowns size equals 0, this means we can clear it here. Or can we? Oh yeah. Oh my. It's not so easy actually, but yeah. Anyway, let's try it. Let's try step by step, and we will do. This is a drop down item. Just thinking, is this a? Because these are all yeah, I mean, it's fine. These are all non-pointers. We don't need a pointer here. This means that the hovered drop-down items gets a new one. Hover drop-downs, pushback drop-down item. Yeah, I think I'm not super happy. We need to think about the clearing later. Think about when and how to clear the active drop-down items. I think what actually makes sense, and I will just write it down so I don't forget it. The clearing very probably should be bound to the fact that a drop down gets deactivated, so to say, when there is neither a menu item hovered, because that always should lead to a drop down if it has one, of course, but let's say 99.9% it will. So if there's a menu item currently hovered, then it will show, then we should show the drop down. Or if the drop down itself is hovered. Or a drop down hovered. So then there should be the clearing. And maybe we should just put this into a separate function or something like that. And we just write this now down. Maybe just put this in a dedicated function which just handles the clearing. Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense even. I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense, yeah. Okay. So good. Now that we have that out of the way, let's see what's happening, and let's probably also see if we drop here while debugging. Oh, we don't need that. Ah, okay. Yeah, so we never get rid of them anymore. This is probably not what we wanted. Okay, no, I mean this clearly does not work. This clearly does not work as intended. So let's see why that could be the case, because I'm quite sure that we are actually landing in here. Yeah, so I think we need to immediately do the clearing functionality. Check drop down clearing state. We pass it an editor state and we more or less do that. We more or less should do that. We can remove the to do because we're on it. The clearing of the drop downs is happens when we have neither a menu item hovered or a so we have no hovering of a menu item and we have no hovering of drop down, then we can clear. Somehow my gut feeling says that is still not enough, and it's still not kind of like a full solution to this issue, but I think we can still use it as a further step along the way to the final resolution of everything here. So how to do that? I mean, we need probably some. Yeah, I think I will probably move this directly into the editor state. These are active drop downs. Let's say these are hover drop downs, so these are, yeah, I'm just thinking maybe we can even have like maybe 3 categories of drop downs. One are the ones that are kind of active because we are hovering their parent menu. That would be a very precise definition. Another one would be the hovered ones. That's why they are active, and probably that's anyway all we need. So maybe that's fine. I will just probably rename it active. Let's maybe say these are drop downs active. Oh, I don't want to have such a long variable name. Drop downs active through menu item. That sounds crazy, but let's maybe just do it nevertheless now. And then we have drop downs active hovered. And yeah, just active menu item. I think it's actually fine to just call it like that. Yeah. So this will now no longer compile, and we can for sure clean those. Drop downs active hovered, we can clear those because we're every time in this function here we are like dealing with this question anyway, so I think we can really easily do that. but it's called differently now. It's fine. And we will remove that and just quickly move it up here while we're there. Yep. So if we now have the editor state dropdowns active hovered size equals 0, and if we have editor state dropdowns active menu item size equals 0, dropdowns active menu item clear, yes. Yeah, now while thinking about it, I'm not totally sure if we actually need both of them, but yeah, let's just probably do that here. I think we might only need one master list, right? Yeah, I'm not sure, because how would you render it? I mean, we just need one. The end result is we have a list of active dropdowns, and I think the only kind of interesting way, the only interesting thing is how we get there. But in the end, we just have one canonical list of menu items, and that's it. Sorry, of drop down items. Yeah, I think it just let's just keep it now and just move on. Let's try it out. Yeah, so we don't we don't even call this. It's called somewhere. Ah, it's interesting. It's not even called. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, because we cleared it here. Yeah. Okay, no, then let's do the frame, and we will be checking the menu inputs now, but then we will also be checking the drop down inputs, and then we will also check the drop down clearing state. And let's just see if this makes any difference now. Okay, but at least we got here. Okay, let's get out of here now. Yeah, they are just essentially never cleared, which is just not wrong. Which is just not right. Sorry. We will change this for now. If the editor state drop down menu item clear, drop downs active forward clear, This is what we do. So what are we doing now? So what we're clearly doing is we're actively building up the dropdowns, but we are not correctly removing them. I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's just try that once more, because I think at least the dropdowns active menu item, I mean, they should actually be cleared, I would say. Yeah, no, we don't do that anymore. Yeah, no, it's fine. I think it's fine. I think we can I think you can use that now. I think you can clear this here. This is the editor state, and we just drop downs active menu item. We clear it. So we are clearing this. And at least now we should again get rid of the drop downs each time we go out of the actual menu item, which is not the end goal we have here, but it's still, yeah, okay. Kind of back to square one with some effort. So what we're doing here now is because here we push it then back. I mean, this is correct now. Okay, so and I think what we can do actually in the render drop down now, we could probably just I'm just thinking. Should we render them both? I mean, that is kind of ridiculous. Let's just do it. It's a very naive approach, and I am sure we cannot really, we don't want to use that. I think it's still kind of stupid to do that. But on the other hand, let's just see if that would theoretically work. So the idea is now to say we render a drop-down item under one condition, under at least one condition. Either it is anyway bound to an active menu item, then we render it, or it is bound, or it's not bound, but it is itself hovered over. So then it's also, it has gained the right to be rendered, so to say. But this does not work at all. And the question is why that is. So the dropdown's active hovered. This is still, and this was, and it is still the problem here. No, this is not what I want. Yeah. So let's quickly check. Does this make sense? So now what we're actually doing is we need to have at least a drop down in active menu item, which kind of makes sense because that can be the only one that really provides us with an actual menu item to to check for a drop down, right? So that is fine. I think that's okay, and we can probably just do some debug logging here. Hover drop down, and we just say drop down item. Yeah, the problem is it doesn't have a name, but does it? No, it does not. Well, let's just say, let's print out the left coordinate here. Render bounding box left. Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah. And we can see then if it changes and how it changes and what it does. I think it's fine. So now when I go down, I'm curious if I land in the breakpoint. I do not, but I will try something. I want to check if I'm getting here, if I am here. Yes, okay. So that means we have one active menu item, and the mouse is 155, and the top is 32. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah. I think the problem is, oh, now this is cheeky. I think I will. Oh, maybe we have a dependency really on the sequence already now. Yeah, I think we have, because the problem is if in the moment when I do the menu inputs first and I move out of the menu item, this is already cleared. So if I just do it in this way, because there is this dependency, it might work, but it doesn't. Well, it does feel fragile. I don't like it, but maybe it's still the best way to go. I'm not fully convinced. Yeah, I mean that makes sense. So let's just get out of here and let's now see if this works now, and we go here. Okay. Oh, now it worked, but that was kind of fragile. So yeah, okay, so we got it a few times. So no, am I stupid now? Let's see once more. So we are in the game objects. Yeah, but it still goes away. Why? Oh yeah, because we're clearing it. Oh no, I think that's not good. I think this is not good. I think this is not really good. I think this is not good. I think we need to come up with a completely different concept here. I always have these kind of hen and egg problems now with this kind of issue here. So I now can choose if I do not do the clearing here. Let's put that away. If I'm not doing the clearing here, if I'm not doing the clearing here, I might upending I might end up adding a lot of drop-down items here, which doesn't make sense. So maybe I will just do some temporal vector here, which does the drop-down item hovered drop-downs, and we just say hovered drop-downs, and we only clear the master list, so to say, if this other list is empty here. So because now we kind of are protecting our main list, the master list, we're only clearing it in this instance here. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I mean, why not? Okay, that's then always the case. That's also logically makes sense. Why? Is that really the case? Let's try it out. If I now do if I go here and I do not clear at all, if I do not clear here anymore, if I do not clear anymore, yeah. So this is kind of the problem here. Yeah, maybe I will really just clear them here. Maybe I'll just clear them here. Let's see if we land here. So what is the top here? The top is 32, that makes sense. The bottom is 132 and the right is 225 and the left is 175. Yeah, I mean it makes sense, but why don't I get here? So it's 113 and 225. So then why wouldn't I get here if I'm here? I mean, here it makes sense. 32. Yeah, it's just like really when I'm, there is a way to do it. No, it's kind of no way to do this. Because these get, yeah, maybe we don't call these for now. Okay, it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't really make sense. Oh no, I know. I think I know. Yeah, I mean it cannot work. it cannot work. Of course it cannot work, because I'm also now checking for the actual bounding box of the of the menu item, of course, right? So yeah, I think we must do this differently. Let's rethink this. So we have the drop-down items, drop-downs active menu item. No, it's no. I was not confused. No, it's actually fine. These are the drop-downs that are created because of the active menu. No, it's fine. It's fine. No, it's actually fine. I think it's actually fine. And let's probably also print out the coordinates of this, of the respective current drop-down item. Drop-down item. No, there is nothing like a title here, but thank you nevertheless. There's left. So left. Then there's right. Standard to string. Just push that into the stream here one by one. Drop down item, render bounding box right. Hey, aren't you clever? No, you're not. Okay. Yeah, at least that makes sense. Partially. Okay. Maybe this will show us. Maybe this will show us. Yeah, let's just stop that now. Okay. So something is off here. Right at the top we need to. Okay. The top is 32 and the bottom is 132. I mean, is it always for 132? This is a little bit stupid, right? Okay, I will try that out once more because I'm wondering now. Okay, but I mean, yeah, there's so much. Yeah, okay, no, it's fine. It's 46 as well. Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, it should actually work. I mean, why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it? I mean, it's okay. Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. But doesn't really matter. So it's cleared. Oh, I think I see another problem. Let's try it out. Maybe the sequence is now still a problem because now I'm actually clearing them out and yeah. Okay, so they're not rendered anymore at all. So checking the menu inputs. Nothing's cleared here. That's fine. So they are actually filled. The next thing we do is check the drop down inputs. Yes, and they are always filled. I mean, I think this is really fine. Yes, I think this is okay. the big question is why would we not see or would we not get this bounding box check done? Why don't we do that? What is happening here? I don't fully understand it. Drop downs, active menu item. And let's also compare it with the mouse. I mean, now I'm really curious. Yeah, let's see. What was the current mouse situation? Mouse X, and we do mouse Y. Yeah. Let's do that. But maybe let's just do it like this. And just makes it a little bit easier to read, I guess. I'm already quite sure this must be something totally stupid and probably small in terms of what kind of problem it is, but I'm still baffled. I mean, yeah. So the mouse is at 30. The mouse is at 31. Oh. I must have some knot in my brain currently, because okay, this is never okay. I mean, this is interesting. Yeah, this is never below 32 or bigger than 32. Never, it seems. Never say never, but yeah. So because as soon as it gets below or higher than 32, yeah, we must really think this through differently. Okay. So the first thing is we so what do we have? We have our top level menu. And when we hover it, we want to render a drop down, which is normally not a big problem. And we have achieved that. So that is kind of easy. And I think the problem is actually this here. And I think the problem is this. because I mean, again, now it should work in the sense that we get the menus rendered again, and I think we will just never clear them anyway. So yeah, it might be the issue, because we always have one object here. Yeah, so that makes sense. I think we don't need that now, because now this for sure works, but it just stays forever, right? Yeah. Yeah, now I have a crazy idea. If I say the dropdowns active hovered, do I even need these? Do I even need these? Yeah, I mean, I need it for the drawing purposes. Yeah, maybe we just do it like that. Active menu item. Yeah. It's a bit weird, but let's say for auto hovered items, AGI, hover drop down, the hover drop downs. So we just first do that. Because essentially what we're trying to do is to just really make sure that we have the relevant list for rendering filled with the drop downs, if we found one. And I think now we are achieving that. I hope with this action we would achieve it, because here we just collect this, and maybe we don't need this list anyway. Yeah, I mean, let's see how that fares. Yeah, it does not work. I somehow am totally confused about this. I think we just don't need that at all. Let's make it simpler. Let's make it simpler, and let's say we render the drop down overlays, and we just get rid of this double thing here. It just doesn't make sense. I don't like it. Let's even delete it. So what is the state now? I think we should see everything rendered, but it just won't go away. Okay. So probably we should put the problem on its head, and we just say, well, we don't care so much about the rendering and just about the deactivation. And maybe we just do that actually. We just, yeah, I mean, maybe that would work. Check drop down inputs. If we just do that, so now we clear it, and then we push those in. Yeah, maybe. But I was thinking so often now that it should work that I'm not even trying to be optimistic here. Yeah, doesn't work at all. Completely does not work. Just doesn't make sense. Or we just do it differently. We just do it differently. We just do it differently and we actually render only the other ones. We're only rendering these ones here. I might approach this just in a completely stupid manner. I'm actually quite sure about. I think I have to rephrase the whole problem proposition completely. And let's probably try that. Let's maybe just somehow try not to relate these two issues too much. Or we really just treat it together right away. I'm already doing that. Check menu inputs. I mean, this is totally okay. What is this doing here now? I mean, it's just not good. It's just not good. Yeah, I also don't like that, and just render dropdown overlays. Yeah, we will really just call these dropdowns active, and we will completely change the way how we define those. I think that kind of still makes sense. Dropdowns active, however, that doesn't make sense. Dropdowns active. Okay, these are dropdowns active. So let's now say check menu inputs. Yeah, okay. Okay, so these are the drop-downs active menu items now. Based on these, we can actually do the drop-down inputs. That's also, I think, okay. We say we can also probably clear those here. Edit the state active, drop down menu, drop downs active. We clear them. And now for auto hovered item in hover dropdowns, no. Can push that back. And maybe water helps. And these are the only ones who render, so does it make sense? And we will now also say auto hovered menu based is editor state drop downs active menu item. I mean, we could probably just do this in the other function anyway. Let's see. Hey, I mean, it's not, they are never cleared, are they? Dropdowns active. So I would say getting there. Check menu inputs. Editor state. Yeah, let's see. No, I also must clear those, right? Editor state, drop down, active, clear. Trying again. This has some interesting phenomena. Yeah, I think if I do that, I don't even need this. Can just put it right in there, edit the state. Drop down, drop down, drop down. And we have we're just rendering render drop down. These are the drop downs active. Okay, makes sense. I mean, let's go it down once more. So what happens in the moment the mouse is here? I mean, again, I will not have an active drop-down menu, right? Yeah. This is just a problem. But I think there is a very easy trick, probably. Because if I say previous frame, and now I say check menu inputs, so the idea is I need to just keep them alive one more frame. So I'm clearing the active one. And I'm pushing them. I'm pushing them here. And when we say check drop down, edit the state, I clear those, and only then do I clear those. Something like that, something along the line of that. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Very interesting indeed. So, oh, okay. So, what can we do here? Let's think it through. Let's create some more log outputs once more. So we should have some here, right? We should have some here. I mean, they are never used, doesn't even make sense. So now the question is why aren't they even rendered? I mean, okay, yeah, okay, yeah. At least I can tell this. At least I can tell this. So what you can see is that this is rendered, and then when at the moment we are under 30, over 32, the moment you're over 32, everything breaks down. So we need to understand why that is. So let's really try to decipher it line by line. So if the mouse is here at 31, I mean, maybe what we should also do is, of course, add something in here. Because if this is not true, or let's say, then let's see, out, DD1 left. Yeah, let's make that. And let's create a few more test entry items. And then we can see. It's rendered, we go over 32 and things break. And I just need to do this, and I will say menu input. And let's make it a little bit more different. Okay. So what is happening? So in the mouse at 176. This is weird. Weird stuff, weird stuff. Let's drink some water. Okay, so there is a few minutes left. Let's see how far we can come with that. Let's see if we can get a last quick win here. So, but if the mouse XX. That makes sense. I like that. Let's try one more time. Now it's rendered and everything's fine, and now it's gone. Okay. Yeah, okay, I see. Yeah, I think I understand. So now we are no longer in here. That means we are no longer filling in the previous frame. The previous frame is already empty because it was deleted here, right? So we must do this just differently. So what you do is we say the editor state previous frame equals, or we just copy everything over. For auto dd item from editor state drop downs active menus menu item probably they are cleared, then they copied over. Yeah. Now we clear the active ones. We push them here. So that means we still have saved the other ones. Maybe that changes the word a little bit. Because I think now we should actually save the old ones, right? Just for one frame. Yeah. I mean, let's think of it. The previous frames are cleared. If we had active from the last frame, they would be pushed in. Then we clear the current ones. Then we push into the current ones. So in any way, we're not clearing. Let's say we had some, but now, so let's say last frame. Or maybe this is maybe much easier. We just say, so either we have something here, or and it could be we say, okay, look, we can we remember these rectangles like kind of ghosts. So remember where they have been. And we just remember these. Just remember these. What if we try that? We don't only edit here, but we also edit there. And now we check here. So either in the last frame yeah, so that wouldn't work anyway, right? So yeah, I think I'll need to think this through in the next hours when I have time again. For now, good to see you for today, and yeah, probably see you today a little bit later, or maybe then tomorrow. So see you then.